was transferred into two beakers left under a fume hood to evaporate the acetone. Then after that was done, the crude leaf extract was transferred into a plastic vial. Then the plastic vial was packaged and then sent to MCCL in UP Diliman. Then next, we have the documentation of our cell culture. Here in figure A on the left, we have the A549 human lung adenocarcinoma cell line in our P25 culture class before CD. And in figure B on the right, it shows the cells attached to the 96 well microblades after seeding, but that is prior to the treatment.
Next, we move on to the final slide of the methods, which shows us the criteria by Johannes et al. This was the criteria used after the cell culture and entity cytotoxicity assay to determine the level of cytotoxicity based on the computed IC value. The value was computed from the 8% division compared to this criteria. As you can see here in the results of table 1, you can see that 12.5 micrograms per ml is the lowest percent inhibition in our group. While in descending order, we have the highest, which is 1.563 micrograms per ml, 0.78125, and then we have 100 grams per ml, micrograms per ml. Here you can see a graphical representation of the data. It was interpreted from the data that the cytotoxicity trend was bell-shaped, while simultaneously having a non-linear and indirect relationship between the variables. The effectiveness of the plant extract is greater at lower and higher concentrations due to certain biological mechanisms. Or in other hands, we can call this as a hormetic response or a biphasic dose response. This is graphically presented, as you can see here, as a U-shaped dose response curve. Basically, the highest and lowest concentration of our treatments are what yielded the most effective in terms of cytotoxicity. This was contradictory to other studies which showed that theirs was dose-dependent and a linear relationship, meaning the higher the concentration, the higher the cytotoxicity. Now we go to cells prior to treatment. Cell morphology, including apoptosis and necrosis, were after application were observed. Untreated cells, as you can see here, cells prior to treatment, they look healthy. They presented typical healthy characteristics of cells, such as a single nucleolus, large cytoplasmic volume, and attachment to each other. Moving on, we have the cell morphology. As you can see here, in treatment 7 and 150 micrograms per ml, it showed indication of apoptosis. These include cell shrinkage, the cells become smaller, levee of the plasma membrane, irregular shape, structural disintegration, and then you can see fragmentation. While in every other treatment, there are both apoptosis and necrosis signs. In terms of necrosis, in the form of swelling. As you can see here, many of the cells here are significantly larger than normal cells, which show an indication of necrosis. Now, finally, we move on to conclusion. Based on the results of the study, it was found that all treatments we have are significantly effective at reducing cytotoxicity, at killing cancer cells. Treatment 2 showed the highest cytotoxicity level, and the IC50 value was 9.7967, which is based on the criteria below 10 micrograms per ml, which showed highly effective results. Now we move on to the recommendations. The use of treatment 2 as a highly cytotoxic inducing plant compounds against lung cancer cells and its development into a chemotherapeutic drug, our first suggestion. Second, we have the use of the sample extract against other cell lines apart from lung cancer cells. Thirdly, we have the testing of the extracts against normal human cell lines. Then here we have the additional parameters such as those that are non-cancer medical assays and cancer assays. Here in the last part, you can see that the utilization of solely young leaves, including not only plants, to improve the stems and roots of the nasal muscle. Now, this is the end of our presentation. We are ready to accept suggestions and questions from the panelists.